Hi there, students. One bad apple spoils the whole barrel. There are various versions of this. One bad apple spoils the bunch. One bad apple to spoil the whole bushel. It takes one bad apple to spoil the barrel. One rotten apple spoils the whole barrel. So one rotten apple spoils the whole barrel. This is a proverb that says that one person or a few people with bad character, a few people who are corrupt or sinful, can have a bad and corrupting influence on the whole group. And they teach everybody to do bad things. So one bad apple spoils the whole bunch, the whole group. Yet one element that can ruin the entire situation, the entire project. And then from that we can go to just a bad apple. And a bad apple is an isolated incident of misconduct. Maybe it's not representative of the whole group. There are a few bad apples, and there will always be a few bad apples in society, and I think that's the original meaning. Originally, so for example, in the police there are always a few bad apples, but this should not be seen as representative of the police in themselves. So this comes from, I think, a 14th century metaphor. A rotten apple quickly infects its neighbour, and then later, 18th century, the rotten apple spoils his companion. And I think then later in the 19th century, priests started using this in sermons, and it began to change meaning to say that you shouldn't allow any evil at all, any bad behaviour, because one bad apple will make everybody go bad. The Prime Minister pledged to weed out the bad apples from his party. The General denied all knowledge of the crimes and blamed them on a few bad apples. He needs to have more power to deal with any bad apples that he finds. The good work that these people have done has unfortunately been undermined by a few bad apples. So this is a single bad influence can ruin what otherwise would be good. It depends if you think that the bad apple is representative or not. But the fact is, if you've got one bad apple in proximity to other apples, they all go rotten, and that's because the bad apple produces, I think it's ethylene dioxide, which makes the rest of the apples rot as well. So there is actually a lot of truth. One bad apple does spoil a whole load of them. A single mouldy apple stored with good apples will just spread to all of them. Okay, so a bad apple, one bad apple, is one person. And it depends. One bad apple doesn't spoil the whole bunch, although the idiom is the other way round, referring to one person who creates or causes problem and reflects negatively on the influence or on the remainder of the group. And in life there are always a few bad apples, no matter how you try. Rotten apples as well. You can use the word rotten. A rotten apple or a bad apple, this is a person who is corrupt, a person who is wicked. Yeah, it's hoped the investigation will pick out the bad apples. When you've got a bad apple in the barrel, you've got to throw it out before it infects the rest. So, yeah, a bad apple, somebody who makes trouble, a dishonest person. In any group of citizens, there are always bound to be a few bad apples. Okay, so bad apple. One bad apple spoils the whole barrel, spoils the whole bunch. So a bad apple, formality. I think I'm going to give it a 4.5, and maybe the proverb itself, one bad apple spoils the whole barrel, I think I would give a 5 in formality, use anywhere. So bad apple, use it anywhere except for something very formal. So enough bad apple. Bye for now.